welcome back to the Dark Vale Brewing channel. If you're new, thanks for clicking on the video. If you've seen before and you're a return viewer, thanks for sticking around, really appreciate it. So today is a brewing video. I am going to be brewing something new, and don't shoot me, but I was in the shop the other day, supermarket, and I was wandering around as of you, just basically loafing around looking at nothing really, and I noticed that the mince pies were on the shelves, the rum truffles were on the shelves, the tinsel was tinseling, and I thought, that's it, that is a sign to do this year's Christmas beer, and I'm doing it, a Christmas beer. No, not Halloween, Christmas. And I know we haven't had Halloween yet, I might be jumping the gun a little bit, but as I said, the signs were there and it's got to be done, and I want to see what it's like, you know, being aged a few months as opposed to, you know, just having the standard 4 or 5 weeks secondary fermentation or conditioning. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today. I had a bit of a dilemma this one because I've still been enjoying my Kvayak IPA, which I did not so long ago. The link is in one of the corners, and it's still very lovely. In fact, it's got better and better, as you can imagine. But I started thinking, what am I going to do for a Christmas beer this year? So I went from a coffee or an espresso coffee chocolate stout, which sounded absolutely phenomenal. That then changed to a bonfire smoky IPA, which has absolutely all those autumnal winter notes in it, you know, toffee, caramel, cinnamon, that type of smoky, dark, rich flavour. And then I went to a Belgian beer. Just as I was about to make my selection of what I was going to do, I hit a snag. And that snag is called Mangrove Jacks. And as you know, Mangrove Jacks is probably my favourite go-to brew pouch, because they're just phenomenal kits. They're just brilliant. They're lovely. Every single one of them I've done has been absolutely unbelievable from a beer kit. But they gave me a dilemma because they decided that they were going to release not one, but 2 Christmas beers. They have released 2 Christmas brew pouches, and I was like, absolutely was. So the first one I looked at was a dark, rich Belgian IPA, and it had hints of clove, hints of winter spice. It had all those characteristics that you want in a winter beer, along with the fact that it was nice and dark and rich colour. It just sounded like an absolute dream. And the second one was an orange and cinnamon wheat beer. Again, full of all those autumnal winter flavours. And I was a bit stuck and I didn't know what to do. So I went on what I did last year, and if you watched the video from last Christmas, I did a mentored winter warmer, and again I'll leave the link for that one around here somewhere. So I did it because I did a dark beer, a dark brew last year. I thought, okay, I made the decision, and I'll go with this one. And I've got it. It's here. Turned up about an hour ago. It's a orange and cinnamon wheat beer by Mangrove Jacks. Brand new. They literally just released this for Christmas, so 2 of them for Christmas. So I'll put the links in the description of the video. But I was blown away. I had no choice. I had to go with this beer, or the Mangrove Jacks Christmas ones anyway. So just to read what this beer is. So as you can see, it's got a bit of a Christmassy logo on it, Christmas trees and baubles and all sorts of stuff. It's a craft series pilot batch limited edition. So as I said, this is brand spanking new. I don't know if you can see it there on the old camera of truth. So this read the tasting notes on it. So it's a refreshing, festive twist on a classic Belgian wit, with spicy wheat notes and fruity esters, complemented by zesty orange and sweet, warming cinnamon flavours on the palate. Pours a hazy gold with a light white head. So it uses M21 Belgian wheat yeast, 10 grams. And it pours, it's a hazy gold. So the approximate ABV on this one is 4.9%. It makes, it's a 23 litre kit, so it makes 40 pints. There's no hops with this one, so normally with a Mangrove Jacks kit, you'll get some dry hops to go with it. So there's no hops for this. All that's required with this is a kilogram of brewing sugar. I'm going to be a little bit sneaky because I've got some malt extract. Oh, not malt extract. I've got some brew sugar left over from the last batch. So I'm going to put a little bit more than a kilogram in, just to bring the ABV up a little bit, just to get it over 5%. So I'll do that now. So that's it. This is what we're going to do. It's not fine right either, but it's Christmas beer. Yeah, it's going to be lovely. All the boring bits are done. So what I'm going to do, the fermentation equipment is already upstairs, sterilising, cleaning, whatever it's doing. So I'm not going to bore you with a step-by-step talk through what I'm doing as I'm doing it. You've seen my videos, you've seen the videos, you've seen brewing videos before. You know how a kit brew is put together. So I'll just film the stages as they go along without any sort of talking over it or whatever. And then I'll catch up with you at the end of it. So let's brew time.
Close your eyes. Close your eyes.
Okay, so as you saw, it's an extremely quick process. There's not a lot to do with these brew pouches and these brew kits. It literally is. Put your fermentables in, your sugar, put your malt extract in, and then top it up to whatever the kit is. So whether it's a 20 litre, 25 or 23, whatever. So all we're doing now, the yeast is pitched, so all that's done. So in a little bit now we'll just take a starting gravity reading so we know how to work it out at the end to see what the ABV is. So I did things a little bit different on this one. I put the sugars in first rather than the hot water, and that's quite simply because if you've got the hot water in the fermenter first, all the steam rising up from the boiling water, it moistens up the end or the cut of the pack of sugar. So as your sugar starts to pour out of the bag, the sugar starts to seal up around the bag and you get clumps of sugar on there and you don't get it all in. So I put all the sugar in first, then I put the hot water in. It does clump up a bit. What I probably should have done, which I'll do next time, is put a little bit of hot water at a time and just mix it as I go rather than putting a whole lot in, because it did clump up a little bit. But once the second litre and a half of boiling water went in, all the lumps and bumps stood out lovely. So once that was done, I then put the malt extract in. The malt extract was stood in a sink of warm water for 15 to 20 minutes. As you saw, it poured out lovely. It poured out no problem at all. There was no gloopy bits. Well, it's gloopy, but it poured out nice. And then all I did then was I just put some more warm water inside the pouch, stirred it around a bit to get the rest of it out, and as you saw, it was all nice and clean. We then had to wait for it to drop down to 25 degrees on the fermenter before we put the yeast in. Oh no, sorry, no, I topped up to 23 litres. That's right, I put extra water in there to top up to 23 litres. What you notice I did, I poured the water from a height. Pouring the water from the height makes the water splash, and it aerates the beer, or aerates the wort better. So it puts more air into the wort as you're pouring it in. And then that with some extra stir in, get a nice foamy rich head on the top. And it's all good. So yeah, we're done. Let's go on the instructions. So it's going to ferment for 7 days now. This one's going to be, so this is a wheat beer. So this is going to ferment between 20 and 25 degrees. So I'm going to keep this between 25 and 20 degrees, which is fine. We're sort of beginning of October at the moment, so the temperature's starting to drop a bit. So I've got the old heat pad. It's on the old heat pad now, so I'll just keep checking the temperature daily on that one. So leave that for 7 days. After 7 days now, so there's no hop additions to this. I'm not going to mess with it. I'm not going to put any silly hops in there. I'm going to leave it as it is. So there's no hops additions. So I just need to go on the old Mangrove Jacks website using the QR code there just to find what the final gravity of this beer should be. And then we'll put it into the usual kegs and bottles. You know me, those kegs and bottles, that's what we use. So that's it. So that's going to sit there now for the next 7 days. I got a gravity reading in a minute. And then I'll be back with you in 7 days when I get the final reading and keg and bottle it. I say 7 days, it's going to be 7 days for me. It's going to be like milliseconds for you guys. So thanks again for watching. Well, you're not going anywhere because you're going to see me now again in a minute. Catch you now again in a minute.
A few moments later.
Okay, brewers, fermentation's finished. It's been stable for the last 2 days. I measured the hydrometer earlier today and it was 1010, sorry. So it's gone from 1050 to 1010. So that worked out at 5.2%. So we have got a little bit of extra ABV as opposed to the average of 4.9, I think he said it was going to be, or 4.7, I can't quite remember. But yeah, it's all done. I've sterilised and cleaned all the kegs and the bottles. So I'm just going to grab those now. We'll start filling them up. Bottles, they'll be carbonated with carbonation drops. And the kegs will have, I think, about 3 teaspoons of spray malt to prime them and condition them. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So without further ado, we'll get on with it. So we've got the auto siphon set up, and that's going to go into the bottles with a bottle wand, just like that. So yeah, we'll have a go with the filling up now, see how it goes. So just getting used to using the auto siphon, which can be a little bit of a tricky art, but seems to be working. So we're not filling them all the way up, we're just getting it towards the top of the neck of the bottle, and then we're going to slow it down. Just have a very slow flow then, just to bring it up to the top. One of the bottles is a little bit too full, but it's good flow. It smells lovely. You can really smell the cinnamon in this. And slow it down, and then stop. So there we go. So we're on the last bottle. Setting this all up takes a lot longer than it does to actually, what it actually does to fill them all up. It takes a matter of seconds just to fill it all. Slow it down and stop. Just a little bit more that one. There we go. And that flow, this little throttle thing, is brilliant because it just stops the flow. And then what we do is we put that tube up on there, out of the way. We'll do with that one bottle, so we'll just get rid of a little bit of that, because that's just a little bit. That's better. What we'll do with these now, carbonation drops. There we go, all been carbonated. And then seal them shut. So get a little bit of that one as well. I know they're clear bottles. I know you guys are saying, "Oh my God, he's using clear bottles." Oh. Yes, the myth, well not a myth, the fact that clear bottles is any beer in a clear bottle, if they get anywhere near sunlight, it's a thing called skunking, where basically the beer will end up tasting like, well, eggy fart, I guess. Well, not very pleasant anyway, but there we go, there's 5 bottles there, all nice and done, so we'll move on to the kegs now. But yeah, clear bottles, don't worry about these, I always keep them in a dark place. They're always covered, so I've never had, all the years of using these bottles, I've never had any skunky ones, so don't worry guys, I'm all good with that one. Okay, time for the kegs then. So we've got 4 kegs. We're just going to put a bit of spray malt, 3 tablespoons of spray malt into each keg, and then that'll help secondary fermentation, conditioning, etc, etc. So basically it's like a secondary prime really. So yeah, we just put 3 teaspoons in each, and that'll help condition our beer then. That's just to prime it really. So you've always got to prime your kegs, or if you're using a pressure barrel, you do the same thing. So that's all we're doing here. We're just putting 3 teaspoons of spray malt inside each keg, and that's just so when your beer goes in, it'll start what we call secondary fermentation, and and then it'll add pressure to the barrel as well. So when you've seen one of the other videos where I say, oh yeah, the first one's going to be mainly foam, that's because you've primed them with sugar. So it's the sugar that you put in that gives it that sort of boost. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So once we've done this, we're just going to fill them up using the auto siphon. The auto siphon, by the way, works very, very well. I've not used them before, it's the first time using it. It's only because I always seem to struggle using just getting it from the tap on the bottom of the keg there, of the fermenter. So I just thought I'd try something a bit different. And I don't really like the idea of sucking the siphon tube into the beer as well. That never gives me. You've always run that risk of adding extra rubbish into the beer. Okay, so that's that done. So we're just going to get our siphon tube. We're going to put it into the first, and there we go. That's pouring nice now. So put it right into the bottom so you don't add any air into the beer. I mean, I know the keg's been open anyway, but you don't want any beer splashing now because you don't want it to add any extra oxygen, because the oxygen will be bad now. So yeah, we'll just fill these up and see how we go. So we've got 2 filled. So whilst they're filling, what we'll do is we'll just quickly assemble these. These are the keg bungs. So just put these have been sterilised, sanitised, etc. And you literally just push them through the middle. They're a bit of a tight fit, but they're supposed to be because they seal all the air in. So you're going to push those in like that. And my heavy breathing. A dodgy phone call. Push them in, and we know they're good then. Just keep an eye on that fill level. So we'll get that one filled and then we'll look to start putting them on. Last one. There we go. Last one's on the fill. Okay, so what we do with these keg bungs is just a little bit of food grade grease on the outside of them. It just helps it slide in, and then literally all we're doing is pressing it into the inside of the bung, the keg, just like that. That's now sealed. And we'll do the same with that food grade grease on there. In. There we go. That's nice and sealed as well. Okay, so we're all done. So we're just going to pop these keg carriers on top. Always handy for transporting, and sorry, bang the cameras. We're all done. That's the beer finished. So we've got many bottles and many kegs, so I shall be back with you in a bit when it's all ready, all finished. There we go. We've got 4 5-litre kegs full, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 500ml bottles filled as well. Some of them aren't filled all the way, you know. Don't shoot me. But yeah, that's not a bad haul from the batch. So I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah, I'm chuffed. So 4 5 litres, 7 500mls, thereabouts-ish. They've been primed with carbonation drops, they've been primed with spray malt, and now comes the fun part, which is tidying up. Alright guys, thanks for watching the second part of the video. So you've seen it all the way through the process again and again. You've seen the bottling and the kegging of it. Yeah, it's brilliant. So this is all going to stay now. This is all going to be mature now until at least mid-December. So yeah, that's the end of this video, and I'll do a part 3 of the video, which will be a tasting. Probably from one of the kegs using the Beer Monster machine. So yeah, so other than that, have a fantastic Halloween, have a lovely bonfire night and a safe one, and I'll see you all in the festive period. So thanks for watching and see you soon.